What's going on, people? Welcome back to Premier League Unpacked, episode 36. As you can see, we've got a few casualties today. My guy Bish is unfortunately not be able to make it due to a pregnancy, and Bilal as well. He's been tied up with work. We've had to push the stream around a little bit due to the Everton and Liverpool game. But look, we got the two main men in the place. First of all, Guna Lee, what you telling me, bro? You good?
Listen, big up, man. Love always coming on the show. You know what it is already. Big up to Patrick as well. And the guys that are missing today, man. Obviously, big up to Bish and his partner as well, man.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
man.
everything's good with them as well. And yeah, man, we're here. Let's get it cracking.
We've got quite a bit to discuss, but we're going to try to get it done pretty fast today. Obviously, it's not going to be as a longer show as it normally is due to football being played, and I'm guessing all of us want to go and play. But Patrick, what you telling me? No Tottenham merch today, bro. That badge got relinquished real fast, real quick. What you telling me, dog?
Oh, relinquish, good use of the English dictionary. I like it. But yeah, respect and love to both my brothers, even though, we took it out. I couldn't not be here. It's like one of my favourite things of the week. So respect to you, Femzi, respect to you, Lee, even though you're there smiling and smirking, I hear it. But it's all good, man. But yeah, looking forward to another show. Lots to discuss. And yeah, man, let's get into it.
First of all, I don't think there's anywhere else to start. Yeah, we'll talk on Tottenham a little bit later on, but what's going on with the refs? I'm going to come to you firstly. Yeah, we've been stung all season. We've been stung. You get me? Newcastle stung, Southampton stung, United stung, and now Brentford stung. Man are telling us they forgot to draw the lines. Within 90 minutes, they got about 3 minutes of work to do. How are you forgetting to draw the lines, bro? What's going on with the officials in this league, man?
Do you know how it's mad, right? Because I was at AFTV. I did the watch along, and there's no sound, obviously. So I didn't know that this happened until when I watched Match of the Day. So I'm there and I'm hearing this, like, the madness, the lines not being drawn. Originally, I didn't even realize that. I think it was the one of the defenders was originally offside. So, like, not only is that an issue, but then you've taken so long that the other actual part where they didn't draw the lines is another thing that's been drawn. And look, like, the common theme is that the referees are they're just not good enough. Like, it's just not good enough, and ultimately we're left with our tails between our legs because yes, we didn't play well. Yes, we didn't deserve the win. Opinion, we didn't play well enough, but it's just frustrating. And I saw a great video from Mark Goldbridge, and I don't really watch stuff. It could happen to anybody. It could happen to Spurs. It could happen. And at first, when these things first started happening, it's like, oh yeah, you've been screwed over by VAR, yada yada. It's funny. But now it's like you're meant to have to stand there to help and make the league better, and it's only making it worse. So, I mean, yeah, I'm so frustrated, man, because European places can be lost by results like this or by performances like this. You lose so much by a wrong decision by a referee when they're meant to make the right decision. So yeah.
Nah, I hear that, Lee. I don't know whether it's just me or not, but I think you're breaking up a little bit, so we can't catch fully what you're saying. Is that just me, or is that
Yeah,
with you
no,
as well, Patrick?
it's cutting in and out, Lee. You might need to reset your
Oh,
router
yeah,
or just log in and log off.
I'll show it. One sec.
If you
Sorry.
jump out, I'll
Cool.
bring you back in anyway. But look, Patrick, yeah, we got to look at it now with some serious thought because we've got the best league in the world. How is it that we got the shittest officials in the world, bro? It makes no
Yeah.
sense. The money's here, man.
And that's it. That's it. I mean, it's criminal. I know it happened to you guys, but it's such a criminal decision that, I mean, obviously both of our games are at 3:00. So naturally I'm watching my game. So I didn't know what was going on in yours. But I see 1-1. I'm like, because I saw you lot score first, and I was like, oh, Arsenal going to win that game. And then afterwards, I saw 1-1. But because I was so pissed with my result, I didn't really look into the basically the semantics of what happened in your game. But then afterwards, seeing on Twitter and hearing all your boys talk, I heard that they forgot to draw the lines. I was like, what? And then, now I've looked into it and I'm like, right, that's criminal. And like you said, we've got the best league in the world. It's the most entertaining. It's the most competitive. They need to draft in better referees. If the English lads ain't cutting it, go and get the best referees from all over. Go Colombia, go Italy, go Sweden, go Denmark, wherever. Go and draft the best referees. We get in the best talent, get the best referees because the guys here are us. And even when you look at Champions League games, European games, you know, World Cups, Euros, there's not that many English referees or linesmen actually making the grade. So they're not good enough. And it's criminal. It's costing too many teams big moments and big decisions. And yeah, I'm hearing that you guys also got away with a potential one, but I can't lie, I haven't watched your games, so I don't know, but I'm hearing you lot almost got away with something as well, so I don't know. But yeah, to not draw the lines or say you forgot when that is actually one of the main bits of your job, it just doesn't make no sense. It's like it screams corruption to me. It just doesn't, like, how can you, I don't know, that's a sackable offense. Do you know what I mean? If I'm a teacher and I'm not safeguarded and one of the kids walks out the gate and almost gets hit by a bus or you know, I lose my job. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a teacher, by the way, but I'm just saying. Or if I'm an accountant and I'm working at Barclays Bank and someone goes to withdraw £100 and I give them £1,000, there's an investigation and I lose my job. Something like that. The guy needs to be investigated and thrown out the door because that's crazy.
Nah, bro, definitely, man. I was on Troops' channel a little bit earlier on as well, and we were discussing the same kind of situation. And it was Zah who come on and said, you know, if he was doing something wrong and that Barstool are going to be looking at him in a different light.
100%.
Now,
like,
these guys don't have to come out, do any press conferences, do nothing. You get me? Like, it makes no sense. There's got to be some kind of repercussion. You get me? Sack these motherfuckers, yo. And you know what I say as well, yeah? Like you said, there's a reason that English Premier League refs are not reffing in the World Cup, not reffing in Champions League finals and so on, because they're all fat fuckers. They can't even keep up with the game. Nah, big man thing, bro. Big man thing. They're all fat as fuck, yeah. They can't keep up with the play, bro. It's a bad thing.
You know what, though, yeah? Like, you know when people say, oh, like, you know, there's no English referees going to the World Cup. There's no English referees going to the World Cup or these European Championships. They don't care. Why are they bothered? Like,
but they should care though. They should.
But no, but my point is that they should care. But why should they? They get their salary. They're getting a nice salary. They go to all these, you know, all these big grounds. You know, they have, and they're part of history. They're part of these big occasions where the FA Cup final, the big 6 games against other teams. Like all of these things, they're a part of, and they get to control 22 other men or women, depending on obviously WSL, like all of these things that they get to, you know, have a real big say over. So, and like it's just a joke. Like overall, for me, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, it's just good enough. And you're right. Look, I am a teacher, so I can talk from any real perspective in it. And I
fair enough.
Like logically speaking, if I do something which is so egregious, I'm on the dock chair, like I'm in trouble, big trouble.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's just ridiculous, man.
Nah, 110, bro. Look, when you deep the situation, yeah, like VAR for me, it's a good thing, like because it shows you clearly what's gone wrong and what hasn't gone wrong. But it's the stupid fuckers in the background that can't run it properly. The problem is these human. I've heard that Dermot Gallagher, whatever his name is, yeah, coming out on Sky Sports and that saying, you know what, it's human error. Everyone can make mistakes and so on. But this is what VAR's about, for that human error to get eradicated. Otherwise, we would have just stuck with refereeing on-field decisions and the linesmen. The linesmen now, in this day and age, they don't even know what their job is. These men are not even putting up their flag for nothing. They're just standing there to make up numbers on the side of the pitch, bro. They've got no say. They've got no opinion, literally. They're giving throws the wrong direction and all of that, bro, because now they've got literally no input into the game whatsoever. We need to get maybe like a computer system to check it out properly, because with humans, they're going to have emotions tied into it. This referee here was from Manchester. It's a good chance he could be a City fan. I'm thinking, you know what, right, fuck this, yeah. If I end up not giving this now, then if City beat Arsenal, this what can happen in football. We know what it's like. Look at us, we're footballing, man. I'm not going to lie. If I was in the VAR room and Arsenal playing Tottenham and something like that happens, I'm doing my best to try to avoid it.
As much as we want to say we're going to be professionalists and that, come on, like, be real. And they showed a map of where the referees are located. So, when I say they, so I saw it on Twitter. And there's like 6 or 7 of them in the Manchester area. And I'm like, wow, they allow this shit. Do you know what I mean?
I'm telling you, I'm going to be applying to be a ref as well soon. I'm telling you now, boys. And that's it, you're saying as well, bro. Man are going to end up 2-footing tackling, man, and that. Your first ref to get sent off in the Premier League, bro. I'm telling you. They'll send that to VAR.
they'll think that you're going to represent for the United people, innit? So they'll put you in Arsenal, you know what I mean? And they'll put you in Tottenham. Boy, Harry Kane gets sent off every game. Every game.
But look, now it looks like they are trying to move a little bit fast now, because against Arsenal and Man City at the Emirates, they've moved the officials. You get me? They've changed the officials up and stuff like that. So, but that's not going to give us our 3 points, because even though people say we weren't playing that well, I understand, yeah. You're not going to look very fluid and fancy when man have got 11 players behind the ball. You get me? It's going to be hard to break teams down, but we did our job in that game. We broke them down. We got the goal, and a decision fucked us over. Yeah. Every game in the Premier League is not going to be a given. You're going to win the Premier League. I mean, you're going to win that game. Sorry. Now, you have to win ugly sometimes. You have to just get over the line if you want to get the title. But unfortunately for us, every time it comes to a decision, like that Southampton game, clear as day, Gabriel Jesus rugby tackled in the box, yeah, while it was 1-0. Penalty, fair enough, you got to score your pen. But 9 out of 10, that pen's going in. Then they go on, score, equalise, we draw that game. Newcastle, we're drawing at home. They made it ugly for us. Gabriel in the box, yeah, for the corner. Bro, his shirt's getting ripped off, bro. Like, there's no more clearer foul that you can get than that. But he doesn't get looked at. Penalty, would have had a penalty, would have scored a penalty. Arsenal never get penalties. If you compare Arsenal getting penalties compared to every other team, bro, it's non-existent for us. It just doesn't happen. So, personally, I don't know what it is. Obviously, we know Mike Dean's all up in the officials box and all that now. You get me? He's come out blatantly and said he didn't like Arsenal years ago, and it's all a mad thing. But where do we draw the line? Where do we look at it and say, right, we need to invest in referees now. We need to give these punishments, or at the end of the game, these guys got to come out and say why they've not done this or why they've not done that. Why is the Premier League not doing this?
Yeah, it should be now, to be fair. I mean, the fact that you're saying where do we draw the line is the irony or the pun in that is actually quite funny, but it's actually a serious matter, man. And I know it was Arsenal this week, but it will be Tottenham or Liverpool or United. And I mean, we've all had it. And the thing is, what irks me is that when they do the VAR calls, they pause the game for so long. So how did they not just pause it for an extra 10 seconds or 20 seconds and get the line? Like, where it doesn't make no sense. Like, even in our game, I don't know if you guys have seen the highlights. Bentancur scored first. The ball clearly come off a Leicester player. There was like a 4 or 5 minute delay while they were checking every angle possible to give the goal. So how did they check on our goal, but they don't on yours? And that's the consistency that's lacking. Sometimes they check for 2 seconds. Sometimes they check for 10 minutes. It doesn't make any sense. And the line should be drawn already. The fact that we're having these guys come out every literally week now and apologize shows that the officiating is in the bin, is in on pitch and in the VAR. Something needs to be done. I don't know, man.
Do you know what's annoying as well? Do you know what's annoying as well? Like, just when I think about it, why is it that Man City always seem to get the rub of the green? It actually is always Man City. I don't understand it. It's weird. So, yeah, man, like, it's not only that we get the bad end of it, but it's not just our club. It is quite a few clubs. They also think that there are some teams that get away with, a lot of murder, and it's weird. It's a weird one. Like Man City's. You think of last season, clear as day handball, and the Everton game.
And, I remember that one. Yeah, that was crazy.
Absolutely madness. I don't get it.
Bro, even Fergie time, you don't make us pull it back to Fergie time and that, bro. All them years and that, 12 minutes added time and all that, bro. It was a mad thing. And you know what? Howard Webb, he was a proper United fan. You'd always see him reffing United games, and he was biased to United, bro. But big up Zayn Miassi with a super chat. He says, we should break the bank for Tony and offer 80 to 100 mil. The ref was from Bolton. Maybe he wanted City and United to benefit, bro. This is what we've just been speaking about, bro. I swear down now. For me, it needs to change. Whoever's controlling VAR, it needs to be a computer. It needs to be something generic where it's an automated system. You get me? And someone then go and check over that. But they can't have no kind of ties, because I know it's difficult because computers can get shit wrong as well. But the way these men are getting stuff wrong, bro, you're probably better off with a computer. It's probably a probability a lot less than them getting it wrong than a human in it. So that's where I stand on it, bro. But let's move away from the referees. Yeah, Guna. Obviously, you've done the watch along. You was watching the game. Was you not disappointed that Arteta didn't change it up a little bit going into that game? Because personally, I was, bro. I wanted to see a Tomiyasu come in and maybe a Tierney and definitely a Trossard start that game, because we're becoming a little bit predictable now.
Yeah. Look, and I think that's so true. Look, hindsight's the thing. Like we can say all this now, but I just think for me, if we had won the game, I still would have thought that a few changes. And it's a sticky one because I thought Brentford are a very good team, so I was thinking maybe not make too many subs. But I just thought that there was a real sticking point with three positions. The three positions was the left wing position with Trossard and Martinelli, the left back position with Zinchenko and Tierney, or Tomiyasu, and a right back position with Ben White or Tomiyasu. And I just thought that last week we looked a bit leggy, and some players seem to have maybe lost a bit of form, but I think actually was enough to drop them. I didn't think so. I was happy with the team to come in and play. But what I did want Arteta to do is make subs a bit earlier, and I just feel like sometimes he's very reactive with certain things. And the obvious sub was to make Trossard sub with Martinelli. But I just think that you could have done something else. Zinchenko didn't have the best game, in my opinion. He lost the ball quite a lot. He didn't get into the normal positions. He wasn't penetrative with his passes. Martinelli was quite poor. But I also think Martinelli's quite poor because the left back behind him isn't overlapping, and he's a bit of an island by himself. So for me, yeah, like I really do look at it. I think to myself, there are reasons for change to happen, and I hope that the players aren't being burnt out and that Arteta is just struggling to trust anyone else in the squad. But yeah, look, we didn't deserve to win the game, as I said.
This is what I'm saying, Lee. Like, I hear what you're saying, yeah, but I wouldn't call it dropping players. If you want to go out and win that league, you got to use your squad. Now, against Everton, just because if we put Tomiyasu on for Ben White, if we put Kieran Tierney on for Zinchenko, if we put a Trossard on for Martinelli, that's not us dropping them players. They could come on later on and affect the game. We can't just focus on 11 players week in, week out, because then you do become very predictable. And look, Newcastle started it off. Everton, if you watch Everton game, even on the corners, the set pieces, they were overloading everybody on the back post. Absolutely everybody. Yeah. What did Brentford do? Exact same tactics. Exactly the same, bro. And that's because they watch all these other games and they see, right, this is where they're weak. This is where stuff's happening. And we haven't rarely conceded goals from set pieces this season. Of late, we've been conceding quite a few goals from set pieces, which is concerning. Change it up. You get me? And this is where I see it.
But I think though, like this game was the game to change. So I think moving forward, we need to see a lot more. I do think a lot of fans online were being very overreactionary. Martinelli's not playing well, apparently. Nketiah's not playing well. Ben White is not playing well. I think it was right to give them that game. I do think it was right to give them that game. They've been so good for us this whole season. We've been able to, beat. Think about it. We only beat Tottenham a couple of weeks ago. We beat Man United a couple of weeks ago playing that team. So, I don't want to sound like I'm going.
But you got, as a manager, bro, you got to look at it. Tottenham and Man United, they're not just going to sit back and throw 11 people behind the ball like a Brentford or an Everton are. So you got to adapt your tactics for them kind of games. Look, the Martinelli one, the proof's in the pudding. Trossard came on for him and he scored. So that's right there where, for me, a Trossard... No, exactly. But what I'm saying is, just then you said there's no given to drop Martinelli or whatnot. But what I'm saying is, the proof was there. Martinelli came off, Trossard came on and he scored. People need to understand as well, it's not just about 11 man. It takes a squad to win a league. And
what I also think though, like you, and again, I'm going to push a little bit because I just think that with the Martinelli thing, right? I think that, as I said, part of it is if you're going to play Martinelli, you have to play Tierney behind him. Just the way that those two connect, you have to play Tierney behind him because Martinelli isn't I was saying this earlier on, he's only 21. His game isn't refined. In any walk of life, you tell me a 21-year-old, even a multi-millionaire that is finished and accomplished in whatever he's done. Most 21-year-olds have just finished uni, by the way. Just want to add that in there. So for me, I look at Martinelli, I think that he's not the finished article. He's got a lot of development to do, but he isn't someone who's
Lee. You keep distorting, bro. I'm gonna knock you out the stream and put you back in and see if that helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Just whilst we do that, let me read Zayn Miasi. Big up for the super chat, bro. Brentford are on a good run of form. Beat City. Let's not overreact. If that's our worst, apart from City, there won't be any harder games than Brentford. I agree. Brentford are a good team. Brentford are a good team, but at the same time, if you want to be winning the league, yeah, you got to be beating these teams. You got to be going out there and beating these kind of teams, because we've already beaten Brentford 3-0 this season. We've already beat them 3-0, and that was at their ground, which was a lot harder than them coming to the Emirates. The Emirates has been a fortress. Obviously, the referee kind of fucks it up in it. I'm not going to lie. The referee fucks it up because the decision, if that didn't go in, we would have won the game. But it's just, I want to
I don't
see a little
agree.
bit
I don't
more.
agree. I don't agree. I don't
Nah,
agree
nah.
either on that.
Bro, it's facts, innit?
I,
What did the score? What did the score end? What did
yeah,
the
but
score end?
we can't
1-1
say
in
that
it.
though, because they had opportunities
I
throughout to
can,
go
I
2 or
can
3
only,
nil
but
up.
you can only go off fact, innit? The fact is that the game ended 1-1, and if they didn't score that goal, we would have won
That's
that
not a
game.
fact.
No,
The
it is,
fact
because the game
is
ended 1-1, bro. The game ended 1-1, and their goal that was given, that was an offside goal.
no, no,
So
no. I'm
I can
saying
only
it's
go
not
off
a
what
fact.
I see.
It's not a fact. I'm saying it's not a fact that if they didn't score that goal, that they wouldn't have scored a goal later on. That's
Yeah,
not a fact, because we don't know.
that's hindsight, innit? But the game ended 1-1, innit? If they would have won that game 2-1, then we can say, or going off evidence, that they've scored another goal. But there's no other reason saying that they wouldn't have scored a goal. Do you know what I mean? So I can only go off what I see. The game ended 1-1, bro, and a goal was given to them that wasn't worthy. The lines didn't get drawn. They've come out left, right, and center, and they're apologizing in it. And that's how I see it. You can't win every game fluent. You can't win every game with pretty football. Some games you're gonna have to win ugly, and that's personally what I thought we would have done. If that goal didn't go in, is the timing of that goal that was critical. The timing of that goal was mad, because it left us with no time to go on and get another goal. It put everyone's heads down. But I don't know. I just want to see a little bit more of a plan B from Arteta as well in certain games. Don't go and approach every single game the same. Approach them a little bit different. Use the players you got. Because look, we all love Kieran Tierney, Gooner. We love him. If he ends up leaving now, yeah, because he's not happy with game time and stuff, there's been ample opportunity for him to get some game time under his belt, especially against some of the low block teams. We need that overlap. We need to be able to stretch teams from left to right. You get me? But obviously, I'll let Patrick speak on it, because obviously we're one of them Arsenal fans. We always have different opinions on it, bro. That's why it's always good, isn't it? But Patrick, how do you see it? Do you think Arteta and Arsenal are becoming very predictable in the way we're playing football and the lineups that are going out?
Not really, to be honest. I know you guys are pissed that you lost the game. Sorry, you drew the game. Apologies. I know it's going to feel like a loss, though. I wouldn't say predictable. At the end of the day, you guys have been on such a good run of form. Sometimes, like, I mean, even Leicester, and I'm not comparing you to Leicester, but when Leicester won the league, they had a pretty much same 11 in every game. When Conte won the league with Chelsea, once he reverted to 5 at the back, he pretty much had the same mainstay players in that 11. It's only Pep that's really come in and rotated, because he essentially has 22 great players. Most teams are not going to have that. So you're going to have pretty much your set 11 to 13, then you will rotate. I do agree with what you're saying. There is games where you can put a Turney in or a Tomiyasu in for some of the other guys. But I wouldn't say predictable. Yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's always hard to
I
judge.
find it predictable, bro, because you got to think about it. Newcastle came to us, yeah. What did they do? They doubled up on our wingers because there's no overlapping runs.
They were smart. But then
That's
Eddie Howe.
predictable.
But
If
Eddie
you look
Howe's
at
one of the
Everton,
best.
they did the same thing.
Yeah, I think a lot
That's
of
Sean Dyche. Look at Brentford. Thomas Frank done exactly the same thing.
I know. I think the Newcastle game was almost essentially the blueprint of how to get under your skin. And I think a lot of managers have now adapted or copied that. So maybe in that sense, you're right. Maybe Arteta does need to mix it up a bit so people don't, because, just double up on Saka and Martinelli and you cut literally that supply and it really hinders you lot. So, I don't know. But it's a difficult one, man. I know after you lose a game, drop points in a game that you feel you should have won, it's gonna feel like a loss, and it is gonna feel like, I don't know. It's difficult to say. Brentford are no mugs. The Premier League, anyone can beat anyone. Yeah. But
Yeah,
you didn't.
no, I
You
agree
didn't.
with that.
You didn't lose the game. This as well. So it's been a blip for you lot. It has been a blip, but at the end of the day, you didn't lose. So sometimes, a
I'm
point
not
now
gonna
might.
lie, I'm pissed off,
Yeah,
Patrick. I'm
I can
really
see.
pissed
I
off,
can
bro.
see. But you might
Really
look at this
pissed
in a
off.
month's time and say, you know what, that was a brilliant point. You just got to sometimes.
Bro, by the
We
way
are
things are
quite.
going, we're going to look at this at the end of the season and say, right, there 2 points dropped, fam, because
Yeah,
it ain't looking good, bruv.
But you might. I mean, Man City are fallible as well, man. They're not the Man City of old. So you might look back at this in a couple of months and say that was a good point, or it might be like you'll be like, nah, that's the moment where it turned. Depending on what happens on Wednesday. I think that's when you'll really know what this game was about. Because if you go and beat Man City, no one's really going to care about these 2 points now that you dropped.
No, I do hear that, but I'm actually confident against Man City, Patrick, because I know that they're going to come and they're going to try to play toe to toe with us.
Yeah.
It's the teams that sit back that frustrate the shit out of me, because that's when I want to see a plan B. That's when I want to see something a little bit different from the players, from Arteta. Even like Guna said, Kieran Tierney, bro. This guy will be bombing down the left-hand side, giving Martinelli that support. Most of the games that we see, yeah, because Martinelli is so good at really doing what he does, yeah, and taking man on, we don't really think of it or see it as in, oh, he needs to like have that kind of help. But now you can see that he needs that help. You can see that he needs that help. And it becomes frustrating, bro, because these points matter, bro. Best believe me, these points matter.
I hear you. My only it's not a gripe because I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I'd say my only critique of Arteta is that he does overplay certain players. I think Saka, he overplays it, and that there's certain times when Saka goes off or looks like he's got a knock, and then he'll play, and then he'll start the next game and essentially play 90 minutes there. And then Martinelli as well. I think Martinelli's getting ran into the ground right now and needs a little bit of a break. You've got the players. He needs to freshen that up a bit because your wingers do a lot of up and down. Do you know what I mean? They're doing a lot of yards. So I would say that probably could be a critique. I don't know enough about your defense in terms of the quality of your Tomiyasu's. Is he good enough to start over other players? I'm not sure. But yeah, your wingers could get rotated a bit. I agree with that one.
And we've got to look at it, Guna, like since Martinelli's been in the team, he's when Trossard's come in, only now he's had someone to rotate with. He's really had it all to do on his own. We haven't had a left-sided player to come in. Emil Smith-Rowe's been injured all the time, so he's not had no support there. At least when Saka was injured or we needed to give Saka a little bit of a rest, Reece Nelson was coming good and coming into good form, so we had that option to rotate. For me, Trossard, he's come to a big club. He's not used to playing at a big club. He's going to want to show and prove to everyone, right, I'm here and I'm here to stay. We could even potentially play Trossard in the number 9 as well as a false 9. He's got that in his locker. So we have a few options in the team. But look, we'll move on from Arsenal now, yeah, because I'm getting high blood pressure just thinking about it again. I'm not lying, bro. I swear, man's vexed, bro. I'm seriously, I just want to pull my hair
bro,
out.
I'm telling you, I was vexed, bro. I was so vexed. The last 2 days,
and then when you're seeing Howard Webb and that coming to training grounds to start apologizing, fam, you're thinking, what? Are you taking the piss, bro? Like, that doesn't make no sense. But look, we move on to Tottenham next because they had a very good result against City, and then Antonio Conte walked back in the dressing room and it all went tits up, bro. What happened, Patrick? Talk to me, man.
I mean, yeah, imagine if you feel like that after dropping 2 points or drawing a game. Imagine how I feel. Away to Leicester.
You should be used to this season. That's why me and Gunali are stressed.
I shouldn't be used to this, man. You shouldn't be losing to 14th place Leicester, especially after a good result and a good performance. Not only did we get the win against Man City, we actually looked good and we looked like we were starting to click. Going forward, we were really dangerous. Could have scored more, but defensively we looked solid. So I was like, this is a really good basis to take into the next game. Leicester away. On the day, Leicester can cause a team trouble. But if we're being real, I know they battered us, but they're shit. I'm not going to lie to you and say that they're a good team. They're not. They've got decent players in Maddison and Harvey Barnes. I can't even put Iniacho in that bracket. I know he looked amazing against us, but I don't rate the guy. I rate Maddison, I rate Barnes, and but oh man, where do I start? I was just.
Why didn't you start with Pedro Porro?
Yeah,
you use man putting a GoFundMe for.
No. I need you to start with the keeper and work forward. Man.
Yeah. Well, let me start from the beginning then. I'll start from the beginning. to be honest, we were the better team to begin with. We had quite a few chances. Bentancur should have scored early on. Perisic got put through by Kane, should have scored. Perisic free kick, tested the keeper. Then we scored, and I thought, cool, feet up, we're gonna batter this team. They got back into it from a wonder goal from Mendy, rocket, no one saving that. And then literally the tide turned, and it was literally Leicester. And it was just shambolic. Pedro Porro, bless him, on his debut, you know.
The guy said, bless him, you know.
That's all I can say.
He
bless
needs
him,
the
man,
holy
because,
water.
yeah,
Give it him, man.
You know, I don't want to get on.
He said he got baptized.
Flipping out. He got baptized, immersed, dunked in holy water. He got the whole nine. Honestly, that's, as far as debuts go, that's probably the worst I've seen. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. He was getting cooked left, right, and centre. Barnes and Maddison just had his number, and he was all over the place. And to be fair, I blame Conte, because Conte should have pulled him at 45 minutes. Half time, you get him. No, 100%. When someone's struggling like that, you've just got to take them off, man. Like, live to fight another day. Do you know what I mean? But when you get absolutely slaughtered, that's a knock to his confidence. And to be fair to him, he did put out a tweet in black and white and just saying, you know, it wasn't a good debut, but we go again. And I thought, okay, I rate you. You're not hiding. You're actually addressing it. But yeah, bad debut from him. Perisic played like a bum. Kulusevski, who I rate and love, his first touch was lacking in that game. In the first half, he got played in. All he had to do was control it, and he had basically the whole goal to aim at. The first touch bounced off him like Lukaku-esque, and then the ball went out of play. Dyer reverted back to his usual self, got cooked. Kelly and Yoncho had him. It's the sound effects that I do.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Patrick? Can I ask you a question? At the start of the season, when you were winning games, and you kept saying, oh, winning games, it doesn't matter. And everyone kept saying to you, this is not sustainable. The way you were playing, can you now admit that everyone was right and you were wrong?
No, listen, top four still on. That is the objective.
Letting it go, I'm not letting it go.
Top four is still on. Even though it's been shambolic, we are still 2 points behind Newcastle.
No. I'm not talking about the table. I'm asking you, you see how you're playing now? You're playing now, like how it's like very up and down. And like
it's mad. It's all mad.
Yeah, you don't know whether you're going to have a good performance or a bad performance. So I'm asking you, can you now see what everyone was saying, including me, when we were saying, look, yes, you're third or fourth or whatever it is, but the way you're playing, it's not sustainable. You can't. The way you were playing, you were just relying on moments of quality. You can't be relying on.
Nah, I hear you. It's disappointing though, man. Like I said, to play like we did against Man City, and then I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, man. And you talked about Fraser Foster. He looked every inch a backup goalkeeper in that game. He was like Frankenstein. It took him like 10 minutes to get down to any shot. And he's getting beaten from outside the box by P-rollers. Like, these are shots that he should be tipping past the post with ease. And I was just, yeah, man, disappointing.
I'm hearing Ben Foster's going to come cycling to the training ground soon.
They blocked it. I don't even know why. Listen, like, that is embarrassing as well, because at this day and age, if you've got, obviously, Hugo Lloris is our main keeper. I get it. You got a backup keeper. You got two youngsters, as in, flipping now. I can't remember their names now, but Alfie Whiteman.
They must not be that good, man. They must not
No, they're decent. So that's actually me having a brain freeze. So that's actually Alfie Whiteman, and then we've also got Brandon Austin. So apologies, I actually just had a bit of a brain fart. So we've got two backup keepers, two youngsters. This is their moment, isn't it? If they're not good enough to play or deputise for a backup now, then why are they even in the squad? Why are they training? Why are they professional goalkeepers? Why are they paid? Why are you trying to get a goalkeeper who's like 40 years old, retired, now doing up podcasts and cycling and stuff, and you're trying to bring him in on an emergency when you've got two youngsters? Like, if you don't trust them now, they'll never make first team football in the Premier League. Then get rid of them. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make no sense. So that, again, just shows bad squad management or lack of trust in your players. And Bentancur getting injured as well. That is just... It was just a shit show.
What's it, 8 months out or something?
Yeah, he tore his ACL, man. He ruptured his ACL. He's fucked. So
big problem for you. That massive problem for you.
So now we're going into fucking the San Siro Champions League tomorrow with a midfield pivot of Sarr and Skip. We're in trouble, man. Højbjerg's suspended for that game. So we're literally playing 2 youngsters that have never played at this level in such a big away game. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all.
Good. But Guna, look, Conte, what is going on over there, bro? Like,
listen,
it's a bit of a mad thing, isn't it, bro?
I tried to tell people he's not that good. Nobody wants to listen. Conte is the manager that people think he is. This guy, like, he's a fake hard man. You know, like he acts like he knows what he's doing, but he doesn't. He doesn't care as well. If my manager was earning 15, 16 million for 1 year to do what he's doing, spooky settings. And ultimately, look, I look at Spurs and I think the top 4, it's not looking good for them. It's not looking good for them with the injuries that they've got. But ultimately, the manager, the way he sets up the team, it's 3 at the back. You talk about Tottenham making these like tactical changes. Conte, I don't get him. I don't get like the hype. I don't get what he does. And Patrick just said squad management not good. You know, the way that he's the way that he sort of his lack of tactical, you know, inept. He's just inept with his tactical understanding of like the team and the league. It's constantly like week in, week out, he gets a reprieve because he's won the champion. He's won the league in Italy, and he's won it for Chelsea. Listen, man, I'm not feeling it at all. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, Lee, you're cutting in and out a lot, Lee. A lot. You might have to reset your router or something. It's cutting in a lot.
Bro, you know what it is? I don't even know. It's my router. Hold on.
Or maybe reset your.
You're not being paying your bills, fam. Is that what's going on?
Yeah. But you know what? Just to go off what Lee said, I think this year it is really disappointing that Conte has performed the way he has. We had a real good back end of the season. Obviously pipped Arsenal to 4th, not even trying to get at them, just explaining, you know, where we thought that now Conte were a full pre-season, bringing in some of the players he wanted. We thought we would actually take a step up, but we've gone backwards. And I can't agree with Lee. I hear what Lee's saying and I get why he's saying it now, but Conte's won 5 out of the last 7 leagues titles he's been in. So the guy is a world-class manager, but he is having a shit season. I can't lie to you. I'm not going to dress it up, but I'm also not going to agree with everything Lee's saying. But going back to it, the defenders are crap. But also at the same time, you know, every team has deficiencies and weaknesses. Arsenal, Man City, Man United, they're the 3 best teams in the league right now. I mean, I say Man United because they're 3rd, but basically Arsenal and Man City are definitely a cut above the rest. Those 2 teams and squads have weaknesses and deficiencies, but the manager plays to their advantages and strengths. We have really good attacking players. Conte needs to play to those strengths instead of focusing on a defense that isn't good enough. And then you obviously put the defense under pressure, and sooner or later it's going to leak and crumble and do what they did against Leicester. We went 1-0 up in that game.
What it is, Patrick?
And then we started sitting back.
He's basically, like I said, you've got good enough players in your squad to play expansive football.
100%.
And his style of play, is just killing them players off, bro.
Wow.
When have you seen Son be this bad ever in his career, bro? Like, this guy, for me, even though I hate Tottenham, I've always liked Son as a player. I watch him now. I wouldn't take him in my team over anybody.
He's a shell of himself. And also, this is Conte as well, man management. If the guy's playing that poorly, you have to drop him. You've got Dan Juma, you've got Richarlison. Drop the guy, give him the kick up his ass that he needs, and then let him work his way back into form. Ironically, Son's best game was that cameo against Leicester last time he played them at home, and he scored 3 off the bench, and we beat them 5-1 or 6-1, whatever it was. Drop the guy. We've got other players. His decision making for me is just what really irks me.
It's crazy, bro. You let your best defender in Doherty go as well, fam. I don't know what's going on, fam. You get me?
One of his other best games for Son, I'm talking about, was when Leicester. I'm saying the last week against Man City, he didn't score.
He had a
so
good game.
It's the thing with Conte. I'm telling you, it's definitely a Conte.
Yeah. But you know what? Again, another thing that no one's really focusing on, but it's such a glaring, obvious issue. When Romero doesn't play, you see how bad our defense is. And
bro, he's not that good, fam. This is where your problem is, man. Trust me, this is what you need to realize, bro. You need to be accepting. Listen, let me tell you something, Patrick. If he was in our team, bro, He would be getting it every week. I'm telling you now.
He would start over. He's better than both of your defenders. Romero is better than Saliba, and he's better than Gabriel. I don't know why.
Bro, this guy,
Romero
fam,
is
he's
better
dead
than
food,
both of your
fam. I'm telling you.
And
Do
look
you know what it is? Do you know
look
what
at
it is
Saturday.
though?
Romero didn't play.
Do you know what it
Look
is,
how bad
Patrick,
we were
yeah?
defensively. Romero is a top
Do you know what it is, Patrick? Right?
That's why he's never gonna get anywhere, man. You need to
do you know what
call
it
it
is?
as
Like,
you see it.
That's mental. I'm sorry.
No, but like for
Just,
me,
bro,
right?
he's getting red cards all the time, fam.
He's not. That's his
I look
first
at
red.
Romero, yeah. I look at Romero and I'm like, do you know what? Like, he's decent. But like with Romero, his actual game doesn't fit with most teams nowadays. But he's good at what he does, but he doesn't excel at anything. So like the good things that he's good at like the ruggedness. But when it's like having that composure on the ball, when it's coming out from the back, when it's spraying the ball like left or right, when it's winning headers.
Bro, he does all of that. I'm sorry, I can't. Like, you lot need to take your Arsenal glasses off.
No, I'm not even. I'm just telling you, look.
Honestly,
I think Vertonghen and Alderweireld was better than him. That's all I'm saying. And I'm thinking that this guy is too rash, man. He's too
Romero
rash.
will be as long as Romero is very rash. That's his only downfall. He's too rash in the tackle and in challenge. Every game he wants to leave one on a player to show he's there. But other than that, passing, he's exceptional at that. Dribbling it up and playing out from the back, progressing the ball forward. He's really good at that. He's very good at reading the game. He rarely gets caught out of position. He's fast. He's got all the attributes you'd want.
That's why you man have been conceding goals left, right,
but
and
he's
centre.
been good though. This is the problem. Like, people need to actually give him his credit and his merit on his performances, not the team. And like I said, when you took him out of that game against Leicester, look at the difference. If the guy was playing with a quality, like, you lot laugh, but if he was playing, for example, Saliba and Gabriel together are a good defensive unit. Both are good players, but Romero is better than both of them. If you partnered Romero with one of those two, you were.
You're forgetting Saliba won Best Player of the Year last year in France, bro. And this guy's only what, 20?
Romero was Serie A Defender of the Year. So I'm not crazy. I'm saying stuff that is proven. The guy helped Argentina to win Copa America, got into their team of the season. Tournament of the season? Helped Argentina win the World Cup. The guy is quality, and he comes with all of the accolades as well.
Personally, I think you can do better. That's my opinion.
Romero,
I think
we can. We need to actually upgrade Romero's partner, and once we do that, you'll see how good he is. But I watch enough football to see that the guy is quality, but he's being let down by the goalkeeper and by his, obviously, defensive lineup.
Now, you know what? He's your player. You're going to know him better than what we do in it. But I'm just saying, for every time I see him play, I just think he's very rash. He dives in too much. He's a risk to the team. And I've seen him get done a number of times as well, because what you keep forgetting as well, a lot of them times when you go 2-0 down, Romero's in that team. And it's like I said, I know it's not it's not just one player that does the defending, but we've seen over time, when you've got a solid defender inside that defense, they can count, they can make shit stop happening. And with Romero, I just think personally, I've seen better defenders at Tottenham than what you've had now. And that's just my honest opinion. When you was under Pochettino and you had a very, very solid backline, now it just looks a shambles to me. Like, the amount of goals you concede, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where Tottenham's problem is. They go out, they buy attackers, they buy midfielders, and they neglect their defense.
100%. But that's not on Romero. That is not on Romero. But
I'm not hearing he's better than Saliba or Gabriel. To me, I think that's a bit crazy.
He is. That's not even. It's very, very.
You need to take your hat off and shake it, fam. You're wearing the wrong hat, fam. Get a different hat.
You know what? The funny thing is, if I asked most fans, not Arsenal fans around the league, they would say that Romero's better. If we asked most people on the continent who watch the Premier League and don't have any ties to Tottenham and Arsenal, they would tell you.
At Premsley, when you do your weekly clippings, this needs to be clipped, and I want to see what people say.
I don't care. I don't care. I mean,
I'm not trying to get at you. I'm just want to, like when he does the new week clips, I want to see what people say in it.
As long as they're not Arsenal fans, then let them talk in it, because Arsenal fans.
I don't know. On best of the rest, we'll do a poll, fam, and we'll see what happens.
Arsenal fans were LOL because they just laugh at everything, but the reality is, anyway.
Look, football's based on opinions, innit? And I'm just giving you my opinion, bro. You get me? And my opinion is, I personally think Tottenham could do a lot better than Romero and Dyer. That's my personal opinion, fam. Obviously, you're gonna think different. I think he's Saliba and Gabriel are well clear of him. You think other. This is why we love Premier League Unpacked, because it's all full of opinions. But look, we'll move on from Tottenham now, because we know Patrick's been hurt. That 4-1 stingage, yeah, it's just sent him west. You get me? He didn't come on with no merch. When Patrick's not coming on with no merch, that's it. He's neglecting, man. You get me? I was expecting a bottle of tears from Lee. I don't know what's going on here, Lee. You let the side down today.
It's upstairs. I moved from upstairs.
But look, we're 45 minutes in. We'll give it another 15 minutes, touch on a few other little topics, and then we'll call it a day. But look, we got to give this guy some credit. Marcus Rashford, you get me? The guy, for me, I'm not going to lie, at the start, I was humming and hawing about him because I thought he fell off over the last couple seasons or so. But this guy's come back from the World Cup on an absolute madness, bro. And he's lifting United to higher heights, bro. Like, without him in their team, I don't know where they would be. United got over the line. Should they be considered now as proper title contenders, Patrick? You're on mute. Oh, go on, Lee. You answer that, and then we'll let Patrick come in.
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm not that caught up on him right now. I need to say a bit more. I'm not that caught on him.
You know Rashford or United?
No, Rashford, man. Honestly,
wow.
I think good form. I've never rated him, so I can't really. I'm not going to change my tune now.
That's mental. Sorry, that is mental.
You know what? Let me just.
Never rated him. Never rated him at all.
Let me just ask you this one question. If Nketiah was doing this, would you start giving him more flowers?
Is that for me or Prems?
For one.
What do you mean if Eddie Nketiah was doing it?
Nketiah was getting
Marcus Rashford's been inside the league for years. You got to think up until he had a bad season, he was getting over 20 goals a season for like 3-4 years consistent, bro. Eddie Nketiah hasn't done that.
What I'm saying is, like, when a man is on a purple patch, if everything's nice. But when Man United go through a bit of adversity, I'll see what Rashford's doing. I want to see more than a couple of months of his amazing form for me to then give my true verdict.
Listen, no shade to Nketiah, because I'm not even trying to dig at him, but I've never seen Nketiah score more than 10 Prem goals in a season.
No,
Rashford's
not. I'm not.
Yeah, so you can't compare the two. Rashford's right now is on 12 goals.
I'm not comparing.
But Rashford is, other than like the last season, maybe a season and a half where he's dipped, Rashi has been very consistent in the numbers. The guy's been a good player for a long time.
Most system of numbers. I don't rate him like that.
But he's winning games for them. Like, literally, I mean,
scoring in big games as well, man.
Big moments.
All I'm saying is, look, the form is out of this world. It's sensational, but just let me see a bit more.
I'm sure he even got his debut goal against us as well. No lie.
Yeah. Since he's a good player, man. Very good player. To be fair, I've been saying it to my United friends for a long time. He's my favourite player at United. I've always liked the guy. So I was really disappointed when he fell off. There was a question, is he focusing on too much outside of football? It's good that he's come back into form. And the guy looks like an exceptional player again. Like, almost like a killer. Like,
I want to ask you two questions as well.
Yeah.
Is Rashford playing well, or is he getting goals?
Say that again.
Is Rashford playing?
Is Rashford playing well, or is he just getting goals?
Bro, he's doing his job, innit? That's the most important thing.
A bit of both, to be honest.
You know what? Premsy's a bad guy, you know. You can't just say he's doing his job. I'm asking.
Did you watch the game on Sunday, Lee? Leeds.
I did watch the game,
yeah. So United were under the cosh, and that goal was against the runner play. Like, it was a great ball from Shaw, and then Rashford, one chance, one goal. And that's what the top players do. Doesn't matter how much of the ball they haven't had, doesn't matter if they haven't had a sniffle game. And that's what he's doing. He's controlling the game and converting moments, which then after United scored, they never looked like losing that game. And you knew it was going to go 2-3. And I felt sorry for Leeds, but that's what the better teams do, because they have the better players. They can convert those moments. And you got to give it to Rashi. He looks like a top player now, like in big moments. Like, look at Harry Kane against Man City. One chance, boom, he took it and we won the game. And that's essentially what Rashi did yesterday. So, you know, it doesn't matter if he's not playing good for the
funny, I'm not gonna lie.
I got my magnifying. I got a piece out on him, you know. I got a piece out on him.
You know what, though? Look, I think a lot of it's down to Eric Ten Hag as well, innit? A lot of it is down to Eric Ten Hag, because there's been quite a few times this season now, where I've seen United not doesn't look like they're going to win the game, because you gotta say it as it is. Leeds were all over United in that game. Only up until he brought Garnacho on, he put Waghurst as a number 10, and he put Bruno Fernandes on the right and put Rashford up front. It totally changed the game. So that for me just shows, that Ten Hag knows what he's doing. This is why I'm saying, if an Arsenal and City fall off, could United sneak up in there? Could United try to overtake us if we can keep on slipping up? Because look, say we lose to City, and then we go on and have another draw or another bad result. If United keep winning, where they are in the table, it's not a false place right now. They have actually been playing quite well throughout the whole season. Maybe barring the first 3 games or so, they've been pretty consistent there onwards.
See, I don't agree though. Like, I don't think Man United have been playing well. I just think that they're getting results. They're not playing well though.
I don't know. When I've been watching them, I've seen them play well in a good few games.
I'm kind of with Lee's camp. I don't think they've been playing well enough to, like, I'm not being funny. Like, even though I'm a Tottenham fan, I'll just be real and call a spade a spade. Arsenal and Man City definitely look like the 2 best teams in the league. United should be third. They deserve that, but they're not at the level to say, for me, even if their points are close to you lot, I can't put them in that bracket yet. I'm sorry, I haven't seen enough.
So we're not giving them a chance. Then we're not getting them involved in the conversation.
Others might, but I'm not.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to put some pressure on United, because I fucking hate them. You get me? I want them to get some pressure put on them.
I know how I know Man United aren't playing well, because when they came to the Emirates, everyone was so shocked at how they played so well against us. That's how I know they're not playing well. Overall, they're not playing well in games, but that performance at the Emirates, I gave them their ratings. They absolutely came with a game plan. They look good. But Man United are getting great results, fantastic, no problem. I don't feel like they're taking games over. They're like dominating games, and they're like always deserved winners. But ultimately, you get the goals, you've got the better players up front. You're gonna get, and you've got 2 or 3 guys in rich range of with Casemiro. You've got Anthony that looks to be a little bit better, and Rashford. You're gonna get goals. But are they like moving the needle? Are they moving me? Nah, not really. Like, listen, I can't hate. So.
I'm not gonna lie, Lee. I hate United with a passion. You know what I mean? And all these United fans are getting too big now. You get me? I'm trying to put some pressure on these, man. You know what I'm saying? They need a bit of pressure on their toes. You get me? They're gonna cruise in nice and easy, without no pressure. And when you got no pressure, that's when you do well. The moment these men get talks in a title race, you see what happened?
Yeah.
Big Patrick Vieira stuck it on him. Arsenal stuck it on him. And then next thing you know, now Leeds drew with him, and then that's it. Now there's no pressure again. That's it. They can just roll. So I don't know about you, but I'm trying to put some pressure on these guys, because the tables, the numbers don't lie, and in my opinion, they're there and thereabouts. So let's hope for God that they don't. But you got to say, man, you got to give credit to Rashford. You got to give credit to Ten Hag, man, because he's changed this whole United culture very fast, man. You got to think they've been through so many managers, and putting all the hating aside, they've actually done really well, in my opinion. But look, last topic we're going to touch on. West Ham versus Chelsea. These man can buy all the players, they can't buy a win, man. What is going on? Patrick, talk to me, man. That little handball in the box and that another VAR scandal.
Mate, I mean, obviously I wanted West Ham to beat Chelsea, but when I saw Souček literally punch the ball, he dived over and it literally was goal of it was save of the weekend, and he blatantly, his hand moved towards the ball, and then they looked at it in VAR for 2 seconds and said, no, play on. And this is what I don't get. How have you got VAR and that's still not given? In real time, I get the referees could miss that 100%. But if VAR were looking at that, how did they not award that? Mental. But Chelsea, again, the game started, they looked really good, and I was like, oh, okay, Chelsea are cooking. It looks like they're going to wipe the floor with West Ham. But they let West Ham back in the game, and it's just one of them things, isn't it? When you have so many players and you're trying to mix and gel, and Graham Potter doesn't know his best players, his best formation, there's a lot going on. Fernandes looked good in moments. I saw people going crazy on Twitter. Enzo looks good, but he lost the ball a lot, and he did make a lot of mistakes. But, in certain aspects, he looked good. Modric or Midrich, or whatever people calling him, the jury's still out on him. He looked okay, but and Cucurella, crap. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know, man. Chelsea is going to take a long time for them to gel. I think this season they essentially are using it as like a extended, pre-season, and Potter's just getting the gist of who he's going to use next year, what's going on. They keep coming out after all the games and saying, they're going to give him time. This is a project. He's not going to be judged on the first 6 months. It's going to be after 2 or 3 years. So they know that there's a bit of discontent within the fan base. After the game, Potter out trending on Twitter again. Fans aren't happy, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll see what you lot think.
We're going to let you finish off on it. We're going to let you get your last thoughts on that. But just before you do give your thoughts, I just want to say, everybody in the chat, please go in the description and subscribe to the Mandem's channel. Goonalee's channel's in there, Patrick's channel's in there, City Zone's channel, and DSG as well. Go and subscribe to the Mandem, because we all want to grow. We want to grow together. And whether you're on my channel or their channel, we're all going to be on each other's channel. So it just makes sense to subscribe to everyone's channel. Like this video as well, people. You get me? Because we want to get it pushed out. But Lee, look, man. Chelsea, I'm not going to lie, I'm loving life right about now. After the Mudryk situation, the Aubameyang situation now, these men are getting a kick in the dick every week. Talk to me, bro. Talk to me, man.
Shout out to Sammy, by the way, my guy Sammy in the chat. But do you know what? Like, I look at it and I'm saying, Tottenham, if you need a keeper, Souček, you need someone who can probably, do a little bit better. See, there's your guy, Souček, man.
Yeah, he look better than Fraser Forster. I'll give him that.
He look better than Fraser Forster. He can get down quick, man. He can get down quick. But you know what? I will say that I do feel like Chelsea have got good players. The one that I feel like is just being overrated is it Noni Madueke?
Madueke, yeah.
I think he's horrible. I think he's absolutely basic. But overall, I think Chelsea have got. It's just going to take time. Like, it's going to take time. The only thing I'm going to say is the jury's out on Potter. And I think, look, he might have good ideas, but sometimes, certain people aren't made for certain jobs, and he's not looking like a Chelsea manager. But it's also difficult because you've got all the Chelseans that are so spoiled that they can't get behind the manager because they just are so used to, these big professional men that are coming in and just like here for a bit, a good time, but not a long time. And obviously they're struggling to kind of marry up the two with Potter and their new way of thinking. But listen, man, Chelsea are going to keep spending money and they're going to keep doing their thing. But listen, I said to Lewis, I said to every other Chelsea fan, anyhow you don't get a top 5, top 6 finish, we're going to have chats, man. We're going to have chats.
Nah, these man are looking to finish 10th, bro. I'm telling you now, it's no joke.
There's no
10th
chance on this earth that they're finishing 10th or 9th and they're getting away with it. No way.
Nah, they're not getting away with it, but that's what's happening, fam. I'm telling you now for a fact, these men are in the mud and they're dead. I seen something on Instagram not so long ago, a little funny thing where it says Chelsea team turning up to training, bro, and everybody from the ground is running into the middle of the pitch. That's what's going on, bro. Like, see these man, you're never gonna have a happy dressing room, when man can't be in the Champions League squad like Aubameyang, when players can't be involved in the game. Everyone's gonna be turning up to training. My man's gonna be saying, "Oh, he's a dickhead. This person's a dickhead." We know what Aubameyang's like anyway. You get me? There's no coincidence. I've said it time and time again. He's left Arsenal and now he's gone to Chelsea. These men are in the mud, innit? You know what I'm saying, bro? But look, people, we have come to the end of the show now. Big up to yourself. Big up to the chat. Enjoy it every single week. It's only growing. I see it growing. I see new faces in it all the time. So big up yourself. Again, please go and subscribe to this channel and the Mandeb's channel. The link is in the description. It's only one button. Click down and click on it and subscribe. You get me, people? But we will be back next week. I'm not too sure whether Bish is going to be about or not, but I will try to get a City replacement in. But DSG, Bilal, he should be back as well. And we'll take it from there, people. But peace and love. And we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.